everyone, welcome to this tutorial on creating your Vision OCR agent, which help you to interactively use natural language to communicate with your invoices to extract data. So let's see how it works. I'm using a very simple approach for creating this with an OCR agent. First, we upload our image which will be our invoice. Then using Mistral AI, I'm going to extract that information into a JSON format. I'm using JSON because it is the ideal structure for a GPT to understand. Then using Gemini, I'm going to interact with our invoice data which is in JSON format. It's very simple and interactive approach to follow. Using this for approach, you can create a Vision OCR agent. Let's see why we need this Vision OCR agent. It automate our data extraction, like now you don't need to manually perform data entry. It provides structured format, like converting your invoices into JSON format is a very good approach for seamless data integration into any existing system. Then using that JSON, you can enable natural language chat. Now you don't have to search any data like what was the owner name or what amount of product I have bought. You can use natural language to communicate with your invoices. Now let's see our code demo. Let's now see the code demo of our Vision OCR agent. In this notebook, I will show you how you can use Mistral AI for OCR purpose and then use Google Gemini for intelligent chat interaction with your data. So to do that, you have to first install some libraries like Python.env, Mistral AI, Pillow, CrewAI, and Google Generative AI. So after you can install it using pip install and these library name. You have to just run this by uncomment this cell. I have already done that. So let's see our next step. In our next step, I import these libraries, which are some basic libraries like OS, JSON, base64, and partlib.env, and then our install libraries like Mistral AI, CrewAI, and Pill. From Mistral AI, you have to import Mistral, and then from Crew, you have to import first agent, task, crew, and LLM. Now, this is our one of the most important step. You have to first get the API key of Mistral from its official sites, which is mentioned in this notebook, and then also the API key for Gemini. After that, you have to create a .env environment, and you have to store that API key in that variable like this. This is the variable in which you have to store your API key. After that, you can import your API key here using load.env, and you can get your API key. Now, let's see our first function, which is using OCR by Mistral AI. So I have created a simple function which uses Mistral AI power to extract data from any image I have provided. Like I'm using here .jpeg, .jpeg, .png, .webp, these kind of images to extract data. It will a simple program you can see. And then I have used a function to convert my uh, extracted data to JSON. So now, as you can see, here is a model I'm using, Mistral Small Latest. It will convert my data into JSON format, and these are the instructions I have provided. So let's get to our main function, which is the main invoice processing pipeline. Here those two previous functions are used, like extracted test and invoice JSON. So this is a very simple function. Now here comes the using of CrewAI and Gemini integration. Using CrewAI, I can use my Gemini model as an agent which will take a role as an invoice data analyst, and there is a goal for our Gemini model, like answer question about invoice data accurately and helpfully. And here is its backstory. As you can see, these are the instructions I have provided to my Gemini model. So then you can set up a chat functionality which help you to chat with your data. It's as simple as that. You just have to use crew and then the agent, then the task it have to do. So now this is an extra function when you need to interactively chat with your data. I will not use that function. So let's get to our main function. Here I implement our uh, agent. As you can see, I provided the part to my invoice. Here is a sample invoice I'm going to use. As you can see, this is a sample invoice of an Amazon which I have gotten using internet. So you can get any invoice you want to test this notebook. Now here you can see I have some example question preloaded, like what is the total amount of this invoice, who is the vendor, list all the items in the invoice, when was the invoice issued, and calculate the tax percentage. And then one by one I chat with that invoice data using my question. So let's run all of this. Here you can see our first process is completed and the extraction of text from our image. Now, as you can see, Mistral AI has extracted all the text from our image. Now, as you can see, this is the result of Mistral AI. It has well organized our data into JSON format also. You can see it's a JSON format of our this invoice. As you can see, invoice number, date, vendor name, vendor address, customer name, and everything else related to the invoice is written here. Now our Gemini model is starting to work. I have asked the first question. First question was what is the total amount of this invoice? As you can see, it has taken a task of an agent like invoice data analyst. Then the task answer this question about the invoice data. What is the total amount of this invoice? It is using the JSON I have provided as a reference, then provided me with the amount of this invoice. It's 40.7 GBP. So let's see our next person, who is the vendor. It's perform the same task again and provide me the final answer, which is Monroe Corporation Limited. So let's see our next answer. List all the items in the invoice. As you can see, all the items, here is a list of all the items. It has to provide this data. So it has provided me with the data. The items in the invoices are Oral-B Pro 2500 3D white electric rechargeable. So these are the data it has gotten, like these are the items in the invoice. Now our next question, which is when was the invoice issued? It has to extract the date. So date should be this part. Let's see. Yes, our agent has extracted the right data, 8 March 2025. So our next question is calculate the tax percentage. So it has to use its own maths to perform tax. As you can see, I have not provided it with the tools to extract the to perform tax percentage. So it is failed here. I have to just provide our agent with tool of mathematical function, then it can do that. So as you can see, with this you can create a Vision OCR agent for your invoices or other paperworks. Now let's see on our next tutorial.
If you'd like to explore practical resources and hands-on examples, we've created a dedicated GitHub repository. It's filled with cookbooks covering computer vision, AI agents, and more. Link is in description.